Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Grant Cohn. This is Chrissy Score. We're with all 49ers. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday. Me and Chrissy debating, arguing, discussing Niner topics our way. And we're going to start off with something that she brought up in the first time that she was in the all 49ers roundtable. The first topic, she came out swinging. First topic was, what's up with Jimmy Garoppolo? And you said, what did you say?
That Jimmy needs to go to a therapist.
That was hilarious. We all laughed, but there was something true about it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to describe Jimmy Garoppolo's psyche in 2020. It's not the same psyche it was when he got here. We want to describe that. We're going to describe Nick Mullen's psyche. Then we're going to theorize how Kyle Shanahan is semi-responsible for each one, and then we'll go from there. All right? So that's the table of contents. Chrissy, what do you see from Jimmy Garoppolo right now? If he were on a therapist's bed, what would he be talking about to the therapist?
You know, I think the main thing right now is that he obviously lost that big loss in the Super Bowl. But I think the overarching thing that I've been thinking about that, has been driving Jimmy Garoppolo he needs to go lay down on that chair, on that really comfy chair and get, comfy and have this beautiful therapist there hearing him out. And the main thing he's going to say right off the bat is Kyle Shanahan. He's going to be like, you know what? The reason that I'm feeling this way is because I'm taking most of the brunt of the Super Bowl loss still.
Oof.
And maybe you tone it back a little bit because Kyle Shanahan had a lot to do with that loss as well. I don't think he made a couple calls that he shouldn't, he messed up a couple of those calls, that's for sure. And I think that what's going on right now is that Jimmy's the deflector. He's the guy that's just standing there and everything's getting thrown on him. Everything. Yes. And Kyle Shanahan is supposed to be this father-like figure and kind of step in and take some of the brunt of it. And he's more so just throwing him right under the bus too. So I feel like the main topic is that Kyle Shanahan doesn't maybe really still trust Jimmy. And especially after that loss. So that's something he's got to work out 100% with a therapist right now.
Okay, you're very passionate. I'm Italian too. I like that. Let's save Kyle Shanahan for a little bit down the line because I agree with what you just said. I agree, but let's not get too excited here. Let's stick with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And before we put it on Kyle, let's just describe what Jimmy's going through right now because when he came here, he was Mr. Confidence, right?
Yes.
I mean, when he got traded here, it's he thought, hey, hello there.
Oh, this is
he saw himself at the time as Tom Brady's heir apparent. It must have been a huge come down to come to the Niners. I asked him at the Super Bowl. He was like, well, yeah, they were 1-10. I thought I was going to be Tom Brady Jr. I mean, it's not what he said, but yeah, I get that. And then he comes here and he wins those games, and he's like King Arthur pulling Excalibur out of the stone. It's something no one could do. And he was the most confident quarterback I could remember. I mean, it was based on very little. It was this guy, has an intrinsic confidence. And it seems like the next year he came back, he still had it, but then he got hurt. And then last year, the narrative was, does Kyle Shanahan trust him? And then as the year went on, I thought Jimmy played great. He was very confident. But then the playoffs happened, and he had a bad game against the Vikings. And then the next week, he throws 8 passes. To me, that's the head coach showing him up. And again, I don't want to get into Kyle, but to me, it's he got embarrassed. He threw 8 passes in a game. And so he can't even say he led the team to the Super Bowl because technically he was kind of long for the ride in that game. So that happens. And then the Super Bowl happens where he's pretty much directly blamed for everything. And by fans, media, the coach, and he doesn't even complain or argue. He's like, you know what? Fine. I'll take it. And he comes in this offseason, and week 1 was bad. It was really bad. And I think he was at the point where he had almost not depression, because I'm not going to actually get clinical with our psychiatric, our amateur psychiatric stuff, but he looked like he lost all of that stuff. And it seemed that I'm done now. It seemed like that he needed that performance against the Jets. That was huge for him and his psyche. Would you agree?
100%. So what you're saying is during that game in the Arizona Cardinals game, he came out on that field. He had a chance to really turn it around from what happened at the Super Bowl. And that's a lot weighing on somebody. But you have to think going into that game, he had been through probably something pretty traumatic, right? Yes. And you're going that off season, normally, like I even said this in an article I wrote before, that you go into an off season and normally you have that like that time to just heal and that time to be with your buddies, be with your family, be with your whoever you need to be with, your dog, anything that will make you feel whole again.
Yes.
So I've been through trauma. I've been there. I understand that. I've seen the therapist. I understand what you need to do in order to get over that. I don't think Jimmy had the chance because you know what? A lot of therapists were closed down this past year because of the COVID stuff, right? So I don't think he had that time to reflect on what happened, to get rid of all that. And maybe that Arizona game was that. That was a little bit of the humbling that he maybe needed. But like instead of coming out and winning that game for all of the Niners and Coach Shanahan and everyone, all the fans, all the faithful, he came out on that game and he lost again. And I mean, everybody felt that weight of the Super Bowl loss 10 times full, like again. And it's just something that now he went into that game with the Jets, like you were saying. He needed that. And then to go out with an injury, I mean, it's just like, what more can happen to this guy? How much more trauma does he have to face? How many more therapists does he have to hire in order to fix that mental? You know, and
I remember that scene in My Cousin Vinny where she says her biological clock is. Have you seen my cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
She says, I want to have kids. My biological clock is ticking. He goes, really? Your biological clock is ticking. Let me list the things that I have to deal with right now. And it's like, let's list the things that Jimmy Garoppolo has weighing on him right now. I mean, the ACL is still on his mind. Clearly, he's wearing the brace when he didn't wear it in practice. That's a thing. The Super Bowl. I mean, he had to take the brunt of that, and Shanahan didn't take any of it off of him. No. Not like, hey, I could have done better. That's what McVay did for Goff the year before, whether it was true or not. He helped shield Goff. Shanahan didn't do that for Garoppolo. On top of that, the Niners flirted with the idea of signing Tom Brady and admitted it. And Garoppolo has to sit there all offseason like, okay, all right, fine. And he takes it in stride, but it's just disrespect after disrespect. And he has to deal with the question, does the coach trust him? Because we don't even know. And he has to listen to that and be like, okay. And he has to listen and be like, is his backup better than him? Is Nick Mullins? There's a lot of stuff that he has to deal with right now and then go out and be confident, smiley Jimmy. I don't see confident, smiley Jimmy as much anymore. Although he's still a good quarterback, he seems like determined, a little concerned Jimmy, even when he plays well.
Oh, 100%. So did you see, you obviously saw him on the sideline in this past game, and Mullins is out there doing his thing, and it's great. It's like, I saw Jimmy as this big brother, watching his little brother get out on the field, you know, and have his moment to possibly shine, and he was shining, and now Jimmy's like, okay, little bro might come and take my spot. Like, I need to.
Look, I don't want to cut you off, and I don't want to speak for you, but tell me if you saw it differently. I thought I saw Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm speculating off like 5 little cuts to the sideline, but it looked like he was smiling early in the game, and then he was kind of like this, and then by the end of the game, he was like this.
Yeah, it was feels great, baby, to like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. This is horrible. You know, like,
how did I get in this situation? I thought, and again, it's like, another thing that's pressuring him, his contract. He has to every day prove, am I worth it? Are they going to cut me? There's no long-term security. There's so many things on him right now that a lot of it isn't even his fault. I feel bad for him. I always give Nick Mullins the benefit of the doubt because I root for the underdog. But Jimmy, I mean, he's just a guy who got traded here. It wasn't even his choice. And now it's like, well, does the coach even like you? Like, geez, sorry, Jimmy. Hope you like that bank account. Okay, let's talk about